What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us?
SPEAKROC, that's the team that I'm with. SPEAKROC, don't it make a lot of sense? SPEAKROC, yeah, we speak to each other. Hey, young man, be a brother to another, Put the other things aside, throw away the fakeness. All my brothers got the key to achieve greatness. Let nobody bring you down when you tryna reach the top. Let them know what you represent, tell them SPEAKROC. Let's make a change for the best. Let your voice be heard, let your words be expressed. Brothers and sisters, set a goal to the top. If anybody got your back, let them know it's SPEAKROC.
Hey, yo, Guap, that was dope. Hey, just gotta keep telling them what it is out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you already know, man.
Hey, we doing this one for the D. What up, though?
What up, though?
Yo, what up, doe? What up, doe? What up, doe? It's your brother SPEAKROC. It's Sunday afternoon, 5 o'clock, and I'm with y'all. No other place I would rather be. Hey, if you're joining me, I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you tuning in. Hey, I just thank y'all, man. I thank y'all, man. Y'all been encouraging me, just pushing me to continue to go forward and, letting me know like, hey, man, your content, is on point. And I just really appreciate that. It helps out a lot, I don't care what nobody say. Everybody need a little bit of help. Everybody need a little bit of encouragement, to press forward and continue to make big things happen. But with that being said, man, hey, look, continue to tell your friends, continue to share with your family and just let them know like, hey, look, it's this platform out here. If this brother named SPEAKROC, hey, he don't know everything, but he know a little bit. And so we need to go ahead and, chop it up with him, give him some support and encourage him. And matter of fact, we need to join him and make some things happen. But with that being said, got something that's been on my mind lately. Matter of fact, there's a lot on my mind. There's a lot going on with our people, and unfortunately, at the hand of, just some rotten people in the earth. I'm just going to say it. I mean, people are afraid to call things out. We believe it in faith in the spiritual community, speak those things and call things out, and just, speak things into existence when it comes to positive stuff. And I got that, and I'm all with that. I love that. You know what I'm saying? I'm about that life. But also, I don't believe in being foolish either. Look, it's like saying if something's hot, you're going to say it's hot, Either you don't want to touch it or you don't want to eat it because it's too hot. You might hurt yourself. Same thing when it comes to people. If they're just rotten and they're dirty and they're scoundrels and they're evil, regardless if it's them or it's the devil that's in them, I don't care which one it is. It's either them or the devil. Both of them bad. How about let's chop it up to that? It's funny how we want to go around and round in circles because we don't want to offend anybody. It's not look, listen to me. It's not an issue of offending anybody. As a matter of fact, if they got that kind of attitude and that's their demeanor and that's their type of spirit where they're just an evil person and they're doing it, doing evil things, hiding behind, whatever it is they can hide behind to do the evil works, they've offended themselves. They've offended their families, and they're a disgrace. And my thing is, brothers and sisters, don't be foolish. I mean, look, if you don't want to take a stand and if it happens to you directly, and I know this for sure. I mean, I've seen it many a times. So if something happens to you directly, you're going to stand up and you're going to speak for yourself. I don't see that being no different from if it happens to you indirectly. Call things what they are. And I think a lot of times one of the reasons why our community is suffering the way that it is at the hands of evildoers is because we don't say anything. Because we're not speaking out in the appropriate times. And I mean the appropriate times like right when it happened. and speaking truth. Now, I'm not talking, and the first thing we want to think about when we hear something like that is a black person acting unruly or acting uncouth or, just, being loud and being ghetto. Those are the first things we want to contribute to any black person that is speaking up for themselves. And that is not always the case, because look, the time is here and the time is now that these people who are showing you that we do not care about what you black folk think your rights are. We do not care about us hiding anymore. We are going to do whatever we feel like we need to do to you when we need to do it. Because here's the deal. They've come to understand that their the trickery has worked. It's worked. You're going to forgive us. We're going to slap you around. You're going to continue to forgive because your faith says that's what you need to do. And you're going to do it. We got you scared that we're going to lock you up. We're going to lock up your entertainers. We're going to lock up your any leaders that we can get our hand on. We're just going to kill them. Yeah, you all are going to do nothing about it, because all we got to do is come to you, join hands, sing Kumbaya, go to a church service, preferably a Baptist one, or they probably ain't going to do nothing Pentecostal. That's a little bit too much for them. But they go to a Baptist service and just, hold hands and sing with you and let it blow over for about a week. And next week following, or the day after, they right back at it, standing on your head with a foot on your neck, because I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. Property was never supposed to have power. And as far as they're concerned, you're a property that's trying to gain power. These are power moves that they're looking at here. They cannot afford something that was considered to be less than a donkey, something that was considered to be less than an ox, something that was less than the dog on the farm, to now raise up and have power. Because now if you gain power, where is that going to put me in life? That's what they're saying. If you obtain power, you obtain wealth, you obtain control of organizations, businesses, your community, politics. If all that happens, what's going to happen to us? I know. Y'all don't want to think like this. I understand. I get it. But I also get this is why we're in the predicament that we're in. And this is a segue that leads me into this, which is on my mind. My question today is, do the black elders have a useful and practical expectation for today's black youth? Once again, do today's black elders have a useful and practical expectation for today's black youth? I always wonder about that, because there are a lot of organizations out here that are tending to the rescue or the mentoring of today's black youth. It's like a very, I'll say the word is popular, and I guess it, to a certain degree, is fulfilling. And a lot of times, I remember when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I had the bug. I felt like, man, I want to just, connect with youth and share with them and help them develop and grow and go forth and do great things. But I didn't realize how incomplete I was. Now, I want y'all to listen to me now, because I'm gonna share some things that we can grow off on, because here's the deal. The model of our youth organizations and our youth mentoring programs, I believe some of the models that we're using, they're just dated. We need to develop. We need to grow. And truth be told, we probably need to go backwards and pull on some of the strategies and the rearing that was used in a culture from yesteryear. Some of those things we need to, because truth be told, a lot of what we're doing is kind of like, we're capitulating or we're placating to a young demographic to, because we bring up a lot of the how can I say, the residue of what the problem is. And that residue will be, you have a child that's angry. You have a young person that's hurt, and rightfully so. All these are legit. If a child is angry about something, absolutely. If a child is hurt and scorned and just afraid and timid and shy, those are the residues of the larger problem. And the larger problem being that in a lot of ways, the caretaker or the parent is not doing their job. They're taking advantage of the young people, and they're abusing them, or they're neglecting to educate them, not just in the school sense, in the school system as we think of, but even at home. The teaching isn't there. The mentoring that should be happening in the home isn't there. So in comes the mentoring programs, be it in a rural area or be it in an urban setting. You have mentoring programs that desire to fill that gap, if you will. And what I see a lot of times is that the curriculum, if there is a curriculum, a lot of the programs I see that there is no curriculum. They may not have a mission statement. It's just kind of, let's just spend some time with the young people. And you know what? At a certain point, that's good. But then it comes to a point where that's not helpful anymore. That's not useful. And I'm going to tell you why. When we're in the attitude and the spirit of giving, and please don't take me wrong, there is nothing wrong with giving. Give. But if that's all it is, to give without an expectation, something is not, it's not complete. It's almost, it's not useful. You're really working against yourself. I believe there needs to be expectations in our giving, in our youth programs, in our youth mentoring programs. I would dare even say even more so for adults. Let me give you some examples. If you got a child that's playing on that's playing sports and they're on any kind of team, if they're being taught the game of whatever sport it is, there's an expectation. There's an expectation that you execute, that you perform, that you do what you were taught, and that you help the team win. Now, I understand everybody, it's just for fun, it's for growth, it's for development. Those are just the byproducts of what the main point is. The main point is to win, period. The main point is to win. We need to stop fooling ourselves. We done gotten to this era of, the everybody gets a trophy era. We don't want to make no kid feel bad era. And what happens is that there's unrealistic growth and development in a young person, because we as the adults and our elders That's something we choose to do because we don't want anyone to have hurt feelings. But life is sitting there saying, I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to be all happy-go-lucky and act as if there was no levels of competition to this, that there was no challenges, and that, there's going to be ups and downs, and guess what? There's going to be winners and losers, and through it all, nevertheless, you got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go to your next game and prepare to win that one. What is the end goal? To win. But somehow we've held on too long to this. Everybody gets a certificate of participation. We've held on too long to that. It was cool when they was in, first grade, second grade, maybe, probably wasn't cool then. But we've carried that all the way up to like high school. What am I saying? What I'm saying is that there needs to be a realistic expectation of what are you going to do as a youth now that I've taught you and I've trained you. Let's think about this now. Seriously, really give this some consideration. Why are we we're just as emotional as the young people? I think a lot of times the young people are stronger than what we are. They're more resilient than what we are. We're the ones doing all the crying and boo-hooing. I think, and I believe this wholeheartedly, I believe young people want guidance. They want direction. They want to be trained. They want to be groomed. They want to be shaped and pointed in the direction for a higher purpose. Not in what we're doing. We're setting unrealistic goals. We're giving unuseful advice. We're just trying to fill the gap to help emotions, but we're not developing our young people for a greater purpose and a greater cause. Do y'all remember the movie 300? 300 is about the Persian army that was invading Greece, I believe. And, in part of Greece, you had, certain tribes, and one of those tribes was the Spartans. This is actually the movie 300 is actually based off a real historic event. And the Spartans, they were a type of people, be it, they were men and women, but they had a warrior spirit. They believed that their men were to grow up and to be warriors. Even from the young age, they inspected their babies to make sure that they didn't have any deformities or what have you. In the movie, they showed if the babies had any deformities, that they discarded the baby. Now, I am not saying anything about discarding a baby. We're not killing babies. We're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. But I'm expressing to you about how serious they took it as it pertains to having men for their army. Now, from a young age to there's a certain age that the child got, be it if it was, 5 or 6, 7 or whatever, the training commenced. Prior to that, the baby got all the nourishment and the nursing and the nurturing that it can get from its mother. And truth be told, the Spartan women, they took that as an honor. That was like, I am nurturing this baby with everything that I have so this baby can grow up and be a young boy and be strong so he can endure the training that he's getting ready to go in, get into. So now, you will see in the movie, the child is just being punched and kicked, and then they put him in there with another boy around their age or a couple of boys, and he's fighting for his life and he's training. What am I getting at? Well, let me say this. He does all that training all the way up into manhood until he's part of the Spartan army. I believe one of the final tasks he had to do, he had to kill a wolf. Yeah, it was a lot. Serious training. For the whole point, so you can be part of the Spartan army and defend all of Sparta against anyone from the outside. So my question is, what are we doing? How are we really bringing up our youth these days? Be it male and female. What is our expectation after all the training? Or what is the expectation for the type of training that you give our young men and women? Is the expectation, hey, I'm going to take you to a baseball game, give you a hot dog, and I just encourage you to grow up to be whatever you want to be. You just be whatever you want to be. Y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all know I'm not lying. And I'm saying it that simple because I've been around people and it's been expressed in that such a simplistic manner. In a lot of ways, I'm just going to be honest. Please don't get offended. A lot of us, all we know to do is to pat on the back and to say, hey, look, you're going to be great. Some of us, that we don't have training that is in depth. We don't have the training ourselves. A lot of us teach out of our hurt and we teach out of our pain of our own childhood. And we believe the answer is a ball game and a hot dog. It'd be simple thing like spend some time with them. And then what happens is that you get one young man that was part of your mentoring program or one young lady that was part of your program or whatever. And they go on and they become like a state senator or something. And then we hang our hat on that and be like, look, we did it. We got our success story. Life is great. And all the while, you got 6, 7, 8 other kids whose life is still with no purpose, still lost in so many ways. And I'm going to say this. They don't fulfill a larger purpose of tending or caring after their own people. I know we don't preach that one too much. That one don't get preached too much over the pulpit on Sunday. Why not though? Why not? Why can we not say, you know what? I desire for you to be anything and everything that God would want you to be. I want you to seek a career that is going to be fulfilling to you, that's going to give honor to God, that's going to give honor to your family, and that's going to be that's going to give honor and is going to be useful to your race. Quite frankly, I don't see the problem in that. I don't see what the issue is. I think if we had, well, no, I don't think. I know. I believe that if we had more of a generation that thought that way, that really incorporated their own race into their future endeavors, we could be in a better place than where we are now. But what happens is we still have a lasting, ongoing attitude of me first. I got to take care of me, and that's all I can do. By me taking care of myself, I'm adding to, the betterment of the world. And what happens is our young people, we get lost in the world's issues. I know I can understand some of y'all probably like, well, that's what it's supposed to be. That's what you should do. Take care of you and then the world. Then you just, reach one, teach one. And I'm the kind of person, I've said it before. In this day and age, what we're in and what we're going through as black people, we're being murdered on these streets left and right. We got our black women being disrespected left and right. I believe that's just an old model. I believe that the reach one, teach one, I believe it's just dated. I don't think that's applicable to today. I understand we got to start somewhere. I get that. But you know what? You got to turn up. You got to increase your efforts. We got to get elders. We got to get together, get with like-minded people. And if you're going to have a young people's program, if you're going to have a mentoring program, there needs to be some expectations, some realistic expectations that need to be laid out from Jump Street. I mean, to say to our young people, hey, guess what? You know what? We love you. We're here to guide you. We're here to mentor you. But during this program, this is what we expect. And just come out with a list of expectations. Not just only for the season in which you're mentoring them, but I believe there needs to be something that there needs to be a vow to say, as I get older, as I mature, when I reach my adult years, I've taken a vow to give back to my community, to give back to my race. You know why? Because I owe it. I owe it to pay it forward. I don't see nothing wrong with that. And as far as I'm concerned, the earlier the better. I don't see anything wrong with being indoctrinated to ensure that there's some dedicated individuals that are being groomed to look after their own people. I don't see a doggone thing wrong with that. Because you know what? Other races do it. Let me give you an example. There's a young person, right? Let me give you an example. There's a pastry shop in my town, and it's ran by Asian people. I believe there's one Caucasian lady that works in there, but everybody else is Asian. There's the elders that work in there, and there's the youth that work in there. There's a young man that work in there, and I've been seeing this young man get older and older. Young man is in college. That young man is working in a family business. And I'm willing to bet whatever I have to say, I'm pretty sure that young man is going to continue to work in some type of capacity for that family business. Guarantee it. Now, some of you might say, well, that's the family business. Okay, that's just one example. I know for a fact that in my travels, I've met all sorts of other races. I've talked to Asian people. They told me like there's an expectation with their parents that their parents have for them when they're coming up. I was told directly to my face, and I just sat there and listened. Like, oh yeah, you're like you just not gonna be a bum coming up in an Asian household. Like it's already it's already put out there that we talking about being doctors, and we're talking about being medical doctors, dentists, lawyers in places where they can be lawyers, or you gonna be in this technology game. You gonna do something. I've been told this. It's not you're not just gonna do just something. Like when I say that, I ain't talking about you're just not gonna do anything like, oh, it's whatever. No. They got a list of stuff. and truth be told, they don't deviate from that list too much. If you don't believe me, look around. Look around at where you work at. Tell me how many Asian people work where you work. If you don't work in a doctor's office or a dentist's office, if you don't work in some kind of technology organization, Tell me. And if they're there, how long are they there for before they go start and work on their own and build their own company? I'm just saying, I think we are missing it as black people with our level of expectation. And what I'm saying, expectation, the expectation of speaking to our young people and having them get the understanding that they have a dedication to their own people. I think we're the only people, black folk, I think we're the only people who find a problem with that. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I think that's a lot of ways why we're lagging behind. That's why it seems like we've taken 4 or 5 steps backwards now. I'm hearing things now talking about there's public lynchings going on. You know, they're like we're being persecuted everywhere you turn. I wonder why we feel like that. Because we're quick and it's easy for us to look at one another and we can talk about each other and talk about what we're not doing, how we're ignorant, our people got problems, we don't support one another, yeah. With the people that you're talking, most of the people who talk this way are black adults. And they're talking about their own peers and their own counterparts. So my question to you is, if you feel that way now, how you think the people you talking about, how you think they got that way? Maybe there was no expectation placed upon them. And real talk, maybe there wasn't one placed on you either. But we're going to raise our young people up in the same manner in which we were raised. The only thing that we're trying to do different is to show them a type of love that you missed. Oh, I wasn't loved. I didn't have my dad. I didn't have my mom. I came up in a single parent household. Things was rough. Things was tough. I just needed somebody to care. I just needed some encouragement. All of that is great and fine and dandy. Whoopee. It's wonderful. But if that's all there is without a useful and practical expectation of how we're going to make our own people better and how we're going to build, not individually, but corporately, what are we doing? But we do it in church, though. You'll go to church and you'll listen to your pastor. You'll start from corporate prayer and you will be motivated and guided and directed and led to do everything else corporately. And next thing you know, you done left the old church that you was in and you done built you a new church. Oh yeah. Programs that wasn't happening in the church before, now they're happening. Somehow we make it happen in the church, but we don't make it happen in our own lives. How does that work? If the principle is the principle, it should work everywhere. It should work in the church, it should work in your house, and it should work in our communities. But somehow we get tainted, we get pulled off our square, we get guilted into believing that if we take care of our own, if we dedicate ourselves to our own, that's not what's right. Because Jesus will want to work for everybody. I keep telling y'all that Jesus was Jewish, and the first people he came to was Jewish people. And then he went out to the rest of the world. Sounds like order to me. I didn't write the Bible. You missing it. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. If I'm missing it and I don't know what we're talking about, we all need to get on the knees and continue to pray that another black man don't get shot tomorrow. If I'm missing it, I don't know what I'm talking about. We need to make sure that another sister don't have her top ripped off of her and she drug on some nasty, greasy spoon tail roach infested restaurant. I know. It's painful to talk about this kind of stuff. That's not what we want to talk about. We want to turn up. We want to live our best life. We got relationship goals that we done saw on Instagram. I get it. Let me do my charity. Let me give. Because that's all I can do. Don't get mad at me because I'm challenging you to do better. I'm challenging us to do better. Maybe there's another way that we can look at this and we can say, man, maybe we do need to help our youth and guide them in another different way. Now, I'm not saying that it's everybody. I spoke to a young man the other day and he told me, he was like, man, because I had this conversation with him and he was like, look, it's funny that you say that because I did meet one brother and he does have expectations to exactly what you're talking about. And I was like, man, that's great. But that's one out of how many? I get it. Sometimes it's easy to throw money at a situation. I get it. Sometimes it's just easy just to give. But I'm going to challenge all of us, everybody that's over the age of 30. I'm going to challenge you because you know what I'm going to say is right. That's not real life. You just don't give without expectations. If you work a 9 to 5, there's an expectation. You're expected to do your job and to produce. There's an expectation. If you're part of any kind of social organization, if you're going to be part of the organization, there's an expectation. So how in the world can we be part of social clubs, churches, places of employment, and we understand the expectation, but yet we don't raise up our youth in our community with that same level of expectation? We gotta do better. Look, I done told y'all before, I don't have all the answers, but these are just my thoughts. I just want y'all to chew on this. We have to turn our efforts up. We gotta come up with new strategies. We gotta do better. And we're gonna have to exercise patience in doing it. We're going to be able to be able to weather the storms of it not looking like it's working. But just like all things, they all work together for the good. For them who love the Lord and called according to his purpose, right? We can do this. We can do this. Look here, y'all. This is your brother, SPEAKROC. I appreciate y'all listening to me today. Hey, if you have not gone to my other social media platforms, please do. SPEAKROC. That's on Instagram. That's on Facebook. That's on Twitter. And also understand that this podcast has branched out and reached some other areas. You can find SPEAKROC, the SPEAKROC Show on iTunes. You can find the SPEAKROC Show on Google Play. You can find the SPEAKROC Show on Stitcher. You can also find the SPEAKROC Show on Spreaker. And you can also find the SPEAKROC Show on YouTube. YouTube is where all my content is. If you missed any episodes, understand that you can go to YouTube. Just type SPEAKROC into the search bar, SPEAKROC, and go ahead and enjoy all the content. Leave some comments. Let me know how I'm doing. Also, tell me if you got any subjects that you would like for me to review or like for me to speak on. Go ahead and send me an email. That's speakroc@gmail.com. SPEAKROC@gmail.com. Hey, it's your brother SPEAKROC. I'm just a brother from Detroit. What do I know? Hey, I might know a little, I might know a lot, I might not know nothing. But in either event, we can live, laugh, and learn, and we can grow together and have a tremendous life. Hey, brothers and sisters, thank you for being with me. This is your brother SPEAKROC, and I'm out.